begin the story.
Yeah, we don't get angry, we don't get even. We don't talk about beef by the way that I mentioned I just turned vegan. I need the pagans breathing so they can see my new Top Boy season. I need the pagans alive so they can all see that it's still my time. I don't know why they act tough online. I see them outside and they ain't say nada. Soon as you say on site, we looking for you like some vintage Prada. Looking for you like some archive pieces. Jealousy in the ends. They hate when you become successful, but in the trenches we were all friends. How long we trying to pretend? I know they love to see.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Fun stuff, fun stuff, fun stuff. I'm very happy with that. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company. Here we go. Okay, yet again, big ups to Tony here. I'll leave the link to the song down in the description. You guys can check it out when you're at your convenience. And what are we talking about today? So let's get into that. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Let's see here. Darksydephil speaks on almost beating Justin Wong. Okay. I mean, he hasn't beaten Justin in over 10 years. Or what? It's probably been longer than that, actually. But, over a decade, certainly. Street Fighter 6 being boring and CVS2 treats DSP well. Huh. Okay. And then fire and ice don't mix. Okay, DSP should kind of already know that. All right, so I'm assuming that fire and ice part is going to be coming from Minecraft, I think. this numbskull decided to do something incredibly stupid and didn't realize there was consequences, which, truth be told, given his life, it kind of speaks to that. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and transition over to my favorite segment. Hopefully your favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So, DSP almost beating Justin Wong. Okay, we'll see when that was. I don't remember that actually happening. The last time they played recently was that 10-0 in CVS2, and if that was, and Justin was, if you watch it on Justin's end, he was playing at half step. I would say Justin was probably playing at 30% of what he should have been playing at. Well, DSP is not a threat. There's no reason to respect him. He was already doing DSP a favor by even playing him, so there's that on that. Street Fighter 6 being boring, that's not true. DSP can't compete, so he's scared. And CVS2 treats him well when he's beating up on noobs and scrubs. Just another day in life. And the fire and ice not mixing. I'm not sure if that is what I think it is. I want to tell you it's from the Minecraft playthrough he's done recently, where I guess he was trying to do some ice fishing, and this idiot thought it was a good idea to throw torches on the ice, not thinking that it would melt. Or maybe he doesn't know exactly that fire and ice really don't work like that. Like, you just can't do it. And what happens in real life would also happen in the video game. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It's amazing how DSP has made it this far in life in general. So let me not try to extrapolate any more on it and give DSP any more credit. Anywho, stupidity is as stupidity does. It'll be a fun listen, hopefully. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and let's actually move forward positively into our situation. It sounds so stupid. It can't. There's no reason why it can't be fun. Let's see here. Let's pick a coffee shop. I'm buying. Yeah, there we go. Saying SnortBucks all around and shit. Order yourself some soup. Order yourself a sandwich. It's all on me. Anywho, let's go ahead and see if we can find our video at hand.
I explore. Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Now for formal introductions, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Raw Phil. Big ups to Diggs for cutting this up for me. But we're here with Raw Phil. Darksydephil speaks on almost beating Justin Wong. Anyway, okay. Street Fighter 6 is boring. CVS2 treats DSP well. And fire and ice don't mix. This is from July 21st of 2025. Yeah. And that's a thing. Let's see here. Do I have anything else that I need to kind of tap you guys in on? I think so. Okay, so let's go ahead and, without further ado, here we go.
I explore. Okay. Okay, now, so I was asked a question. The question is, am I going to play Street Fighter?
Are you going to give them an honest answer, or is an answer just an answer? I'm just asking for, you know, posterity's sake. I'm asking for a friend.
Fighter 6's Season 3, starting with Sagat in early August, okay? But guys, here's the deal. I want to run this by everyone here tonight. Now, I understand this is not the fighting game crowd that's here tonight. But you guys, you're...
Well, I love that too. I love that cope where, oh, I have a mixed bag when it comes to my viewing audience and this, that, and the third. The reality is, at this particular point, everybody is everybody at this point. You know what I'm saying? There is no mixed crowd. Who's stuck around, who's choosing to brave this bullshit, who's willing to tolerate it, or who actually even still believes it, they're all the same at this particular point. There is no difference. When he finds out, the day he finds that out is the day that we'll get an epic crash out. But then, unfortunately, it might lead to a stroke or a heart attack. So, hopefully it's not too. Hopefully there's, you know, that's a ways down the line. But you know, whatever. There's always another lolcow to be harvested.
Opinion is valid as much as anyone else's, and I want to talk to you about this. Okay. So here's the deal, and I think you know if you've been watching my fighting game content recently. For about 2 months straight, I have been playing the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. And the game that I've been playing exclusively in that collection is Capcom vs. SNK 2. If you don't...
It's the only game that he can kind of really compete in. Because he can't really flow in anything else, to be honest. And he was never shit in CVS2. So all he's doing is chasing former glory and whatnot. If CVS2 really does decide to stomp his ass down, the only other game he can go to in that collection is what, Third Strike maybe? And there's killers out there in Third Strike. So, I mean, not Third Strike, in Alpha 3, I'm sorry. There's killers out there in Alpha 3. Like, there ain't no, you don't want none of that. No Moss. No Moss. You don't want none of that shit. And that's kind of what's going on with Street Fighter 6. No Moss all day. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, you don't really have a lot of options when you think about it.
No, I've been having an absolute blast playing it. I'm getting better and better at it. In fact, I would argue that today I am better.
That's literally not true. If you look at how he started playing CVS2 and you look at how he's still playing currently, nothing's really changed. He's playing the exact same way. Wait until someone makes a mistake. Want ABC combos and shit with no real depth, no thought of placement, on spacing or anything of the sort. It's just the same shit, different day. And that's why it's starting to become more and more prominent to cry about rollback netcode, to cry about lag, to say that everybody just mashes jab, 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 or they just do throw loops and lag and all of the other fucking gay ass shit that he keep throwing out there, which gives even more reason for the FGC to ignore him instead of even spotlighting him, because he really does make, let's reword that, he very well could make the FGC as a whole look bad. If this is one of the people who came up from back in the day, you don't really want to give someone like this attention, and let alone if you actually look into him further, especially with the FGC dealing with sexual assault claims, I should say. Most of them are bullshit, but few and far between. The grooming allegations, the pedo allegations, and all the other shit. You don't want anybody to take a really good look at the FGC, then look at Darksydephil, and then be like, well, damn, he was around them at that time, or he comes up out of there. You don't want them connecting dots or trying to put 2 and 2 together. You really don't want that. And that's one of the reasons why I think Ultra David has been wanting LTG to fucking be up and out of the FGC for a long ass time, given all the shit that LTG does. And it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's no better for the FGC than DSP is. You know, and you know what I'm saying? Guilt by association in some categories, or in some ways, I should say, is a thing. So it's probably better to wash your hands of this. I do think that DSP is a far more greater deficit than LTG is to the FGC, but, you know, they're both assholes and fuck them both.
At CVS2 than I actually used to be back in the day. Now, back in the day when it was a prominent game in the fighting game community, one of the big four, per se, that everyone played in tournaments, this was the game that was the least amount of time that I played in. I focused on, oh, wow, what a view. Oh, this is cool.
Shut that shit up. First off, back in that day, who was he going to compete? Who was he going to beat? Like, if you really think about it, right? For those of you who played CVS2 back in those days, or who even know anybody who did, or just go back and look at the videos. You can find them on YouTube. Look at the people who were playing back in those days. DSP didn't have a snowball's chance in hell. On the American side, on the European side, the killers that were coming out of Japan in particular, that were coming out of Japan, and then he couldn't even fuck with the people that were coming out of Canada or Mexico. He was dead on all fronts. That's the reason why he didn't play it. I would have to say, out of the big four, which was, and I'll do it in the order that it was relevant. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, CVS2, Third Strike, and then, I mean, it was Super Turbo for a time, and then you could throw Tekken in there. I think it'd probably be fair to throw Tekken in there, to be honest. But, because I don't think Virtual Fighter really, I mean, the people played Virtual Fighter, but I'm not sure if it really held that type of, I don't know, there's always a scene for it. There's a scene for everything. But I don't know if I could ever say that, you know, Virtual Fighter or Soul Calibur was ever in the mix like that. I'm just gonna go with Tekken, I think. I think that's probably fair. Because I don't even know if I could say, I couldn't put Guilty Gear up there either. That resurgence with Guilty Gear didn't come till much later. Let's go with that. Let's just go with Tekken. But in the era that DSP is actually depending on, it was really Super Turbo was fourth. So I would say Super Turbo and Tekken were competing. Whatever, semantics. The point being is that at that time, if you were playing CVS2, you're running into someone from Japan, or just from Asia in general, but someone from Japan who's really good, somebody from Europe. You're literally the combo dummy while still in boot camp. If you're here in America, you couldn't overlook Mexico because they have SNK characters and whatnot, and Mexico has always been about their SNK games, and Canada was fucking crazy scary. Like, he wasn't beating jack shit, which is the reason why he wasn't even participating in that bullshit. He sat around and he watched other people, and he fed into the hype just like the rest of them did. But there was no way he was doing that because the game is too goddamn technical. You know what I'm saying? Like, CVS2 gives you a lot of freedom of movement, of creativity, and of just ideas and imagination. But DSP has none of that anyway. And that simple day-to-day bullshit you see him do now, he'd never be able to pull that on the tournament scene. Not now, not then. That's the reality of it. He'd have been destroyed. Matter of fact, I think back in the day, if he tried to run Cammy Blanca Vega, or Cammy Blanca Bison, or any of those things, he'd get laughed out quick. Because those are all top tier teams. I debate on whether Vega's as good as people say he is, but that's just me. But DSP would get washed clean. He'd get OCV, which is one character victory. He'd get OCV with the quickness playing the teams that he plays now against competent competition. Let's be honest. It's the reality. That's how it was back then, and the game has only gotten crazier now. There's a reason why Bass is at the top, and has been at the top, even though CVS2 kind of has fallen in its relevancy on the tournament scene. He's still the man. He's still the man to beat. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody else is either emulating what he's doing, trying to build off what he's doing, or when they fight him, they fight to a moderate standstill and whatnot. They appreciate the time and they keep it pushing. But that doesn't mean that Bass is the only killer out there. There's others. But please believe he's the man to beat. You know what I'm saying? Not just because of the numerous Evo wins, but everything he's done to keep the game relevant. You know what I'm saying? So DSP never had a foothold in CVS2 because he couldn't. There was never a foothold in there. You were fighting from day one. You know what I'm saying? There is no, and DSP don't know how to roll cancel, or not properly. He never learned how to use a groove. He can't parry for shit. He can't just defend, which is probably the easiest thing he should do. Because if you think of the SNK grooves, well, no, I was going to say that if you were looking for a starter groove to go into, the equivalent to on Capcom side, which would be C groove, I argue you should go to N groove, to be honest, because N groove is probably the closest thing to C groove, and you get a lot of benefits, but you also need to understand, you really have to understand the ins and outs of the groove. You know what I'm saying? I guess I could try to compare it to like the different lifesaver forms and and obviously Star Wars and shit, like something along those lines and whatnot. And there are a couple of grooves that blend some of the better aspects of other grooves as well. But even still, that's getting into a much deeper thought and philosophy, a more philosophical thing as it pertains to fighting games that DSP don't know shit about, and I'd be wasting my time trying to fucking impress that upon DSP. So I'll probably talk to you guys about that on stream though one day, but I don't need to be having that discussion as it pertains to DSP because I'm wasting your time and my time doing that. But in any case, In any case, DSP didn't have no business being up there. So basically, the shit that he told Triforce in that SRK Third Strike forum and whatnot, or in that Third Strike thread, is exactly what I'm saying to DSP now. And DSP knew that even back then. That's why he never competed in it.
Well, now I'm happy that I put this up here. You can see all the snow, and you can see how far out the ice went from my dock.
And isn't it actually ironic that now DSP is trying to relive those glory days and whatnot when most of those guys are playing on a fucking tier that DSP will more than likely not run into them in? That Justin thing was just it wasn't a fluke. It was just ironic that it happened. But he's not going to run into most of those killers online. You know what I'm saying? And if he don't recognize who they are, he's going to call them cheaters, frauds, and all that bullshit. And then he's going to have to apologize his ass on Twitter later. Or he does recognize them, takes the knee, loses, says, oh my God, puts that shit in the title of his video, and then just moves on. But it's really funny how now, 20 years later, DSP's trying to relive his glory days in a game that he knows he has no business playing, and he, back in his day, he had no business competing in. That's kind of wild. I kind of like that.
You see how far out it went? Wow. Oh, that's really cool. I would have to go out a big tear out there to walk out there to fish. We'll have to see what happens if it starts raining. I wonder if it starts raining, would it be snowing? And we could do snow fishing, I guess, right? What we could do is make a hole in the ice and just cast right in and fish in the hole.
Oh shit, is this the early stages of that dumb shit with that fire and ice thing? Oh, it might be. Oh, it might be. Okay, so the appetizer before the main course.
And maybe I need to make more torches and put them around the hole. I guess we could do that.
You're going to put torches on ice around an opening, and you thought it was a good idea. Let me stop talking. Let me bring this back. You got to hear this logic on your own.
I need to make more torches and put them around the hole. I guess we could do that. That might be neat to do snow fishing. Look at all this.
Oh no, let me bring it back fully. It's not enough, damn it. It's not enough.
Starts raining. I wonder if it starts raining, would it be snowing? And we could do snow fishing, I guess, right? What we could do is make a hole in the ice and just cast right in and fish in the hole. And maybe I need to make more torches and put them around the hole. I guess we could do that. That might be neat to do snow fishing. Look at all the snow. Everything's covered in snow. Okay, but as you can see, it only goes out so far. It's only in this biome. When you go out to the other biomes, they did get snow. So whatever biome I'm actually in is the home biome. It gets snow seasonally, which is pretty darn neat, actually.
You know, if you were a parent, or as a parent, and you see your kids kind of come to that discovery, you feel a sense of pride, right? But then again, they're your kids, and the fact that they're kids, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of coming to this discovery, it means something. Hearing that from a 40-something-plus-year-old man just makes me shake my head and think, we've strayed too far from God. Clearly. We've strayed too far.
Okay, so anyway, as you guys know, I've been playing Stick Drift Simulator. No, I've been playing Capcom vs. SNK 2 for 2 months. I think I'm actually getting better at it now than I ever used to be, because this was the game.
You never played it, so how did you used to get good at something that you never played? Womp womp.
The big four, which were Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and CVS2, Capcom vs. SNK 2. CVS2 was the one I played the least. Okay, it really was. I liked it. I thought it was a great game, but there wasn't a lot of people in my area who played it. For me to get comp, I would have to travel, and I was like, so I never really played it. All right.
And that doesn't make any sense, being that he loves telling you about the years upon years upon years he was on the tournament scene and, you know, competing with other people, talking to people from other areas, so on and so forth. It's real strange. Real strange. It's also real strange, too, that he said there was no comp in his area, yet Connecticut was always a hotbed for Street Fighter games in particular. So, huh? Okay, well, all right, whatever. Fair enough.
Today, I'm playing it out, and I'm actually learning. I've learned characters like Guile and Chun-Li, and I'm getting better with them. My characters who I actually used to be really good with, like Vega and Blanca, I've actually improved with them. Dude, I played...
His Vega is weak as shit. His Vega is weak as shit. He tries to play his Vega like Super Turbo, and, yeah, no. No, once you figure out DSP spacing, it's pretty much easy going after that. And if he has bar, expect for him to go for the kickflip, for his kickflip super, because this probably has the highest priority, and it's the fastest thing that he can throw out when he's stuck. And more than likely, that's when you're going to see a bits of his Alpha 3 ism bullshit. Tism. Let's do that. His Alpha 3 Tism shit come into play, where he'll go right for the level 2 and then try to do something off the level 3, completely whiff it. Now he's in a really bad space and he's in deep and ends up getting his ass thrown or ends up eating a fucking wake up super. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Justin Wong in a set, and I almost beat him a game, which is insane because he's one of the best, if not the best, in the country.
You thought beating him in a game, one game out of what, out of 10 meant anything? Let's bring that back. Damn, dude, that's crazy, son. That's crazy, son.
Actually improved with them. Dude, I played Justin Wong in a set, and I almost beat him a game, which is insane because he's one of the best, if not the best, in the country.
This motherfucker gave you a participation trophy. You tried to go past that by saying, I almost beat him in a game. Keep in mind, Justin beat him 10 straight at like 30%. Justin wasn't taking him seriously. DSP was never a threat to him. DSP was more of a threat to himself. And this idiot has the nerve to sit there and say, I almost beat him in one game. Which he didn't, by the way. He didn't beat him. This is what we've come down to. He didn't just get on his back, or no, he didn't just go get on his hands and knees like he did for fucking Snake Eyes and let Snake Eyes do what he wanted with him. Jesus Christ, he put up, I think, more of a fight versus Chris G in both of the situations that they had with each other. But we're gonna sit here and try to get some clout off of beating Justin, almost beating Justin once out of 10 matches that he lost straight and clean. See, this is what I try to tell y'all. Don't give DSP shit. Don't give him not a goddamn thing. Because whatever little bit that you give him, whatever morsel of fucking pity or whatever you give him, he'll run with that shit and swear to God that he was damn near the man. If it wasn't for whatever other extenuating circumstances that he can't even really articulate to you. Don't ever give people like this charity. Ever. They don't appreciate it. And they'll always try to turn it into more than what it was.
At CVS2 at one time, and I almost beat it. So that speaks volumes.
He's still one of the top guys in CVS2 now. He's still someone who's revered now.
I beat a grandmaster in an online challenge set. I'm getting better and better at this game. All right. So I'm having a ton of fun.
So you're not learning anything, because he's not learning shit, by the way. But he feels validated from what worn out, outdated shit that he's already doing. And that makes him feel like, yeah, see, I'm going to prove through CVS2 that I'm actually good at fighting games. You couldn't prove it in Street Fighter 4, couldn't prove it in Street Fighter 5, couldn't prove it in Street Fighter 6 over multiple platforms, by the way. You couldn't prove it in the multiple iterations and re-releases of Super Turbo. You couldn't prove it in the multiple iterations of Third Strike that came out that you bought, or just multiple Capcom collections he keeps buying. So you think CVS2 is going to validate your existence? Oh boy. Oh, we gonna eat good today. We gonna eat good today.
Playing CVS2. The thing is, I can't play 2 fighting games at once. And I've explained this to you guys before.
Oh, poor baby. So you're going to sit there and say, oh, I almost beat Justin. Justin plays multiple fighting games at once. He was going to tournaments, playing a minimum of 4 games and whatnot, and succeeding. Our boy here, who's supposedly a variety streamer, right, who plays multiple games, plays them at an entertaining enough level, and is competent enough to be able to jump from game to game to game and understand what the mechanics are and be able to succeed in set games, is now telling you he can't play multiple games at once. He can't play multiple fighting games at once. I'm sorry, let's give it the respect that it deserves. And now he's telling you he can't play multiple games at once. I'm sorry, that seems like I got a disconnect there. I don't really understand what that means. He's gonna need to explain that to me. That seems weird. That seems weird that someone who has all of those years of experience as a pro fighting game player and he can't juggle multiple fighting games. Not even multiple. He can't juggle 2. He can't juggle 2 fighting games at once. When most people who play fighting games can juggle multiple. That's like me saying, oh, well, you know what, man, I do like Call of Duty, and I still very much play it. I love Call of Duty, man, but I can't play all the games and shit. I can't juggle more than one Call of Duty at a time. That's bullshit, dude. You can catch me at any given time on Cold War. You can catch me on Modern Warfare 2 Remake, Modern Warfare 3 DLC. You know what I'm saying? You can catch me in fucking Call of Duty 6. You can pretty much catch me in whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with any of that. And those are all vastly different games for the most part. You just learn how to deal. You find your niche and you make it work. What's the difference? I mean, there's a difference, don't be wrong, but it's not that big of a difference. I don't make it any more than what it is. I don't put myself out there and believe in what I am able to do more than what I'm able to produce. It's not that serious to me. Oh, expect to see more of my terrible gameplay in the future. And I'll name those segments later. Expect to see more of that going into probably the end of the year for sure.
That if I'm
Don't judge me.
going to put the time into playing a fighting game, it has to be my focus. If I'm going to play CVS2, then that's the fighting game I'm playing for now, and I'll play it once to twice a week, and I'll get better at it. But I can't play CVS2 and also play Street Fighter 6 and also play Mortal Kombat or Tekken.
No one's asking you to play Mortal Kombat or Tekken. You're bad at those anyway. You're bad at Street Fighter 6. That's already been proven. And eventually you'll give up on Super Turbo. I mean, not Super Turbo. You've already given up on Super Turbo. You'll eventually give up on fucking CVS2. The moment you start going up there and getting that ass handed to you night in, night out, and whatnot, eventually you'll give that up too. You like it now because you're able to beat up on scrubs and noobs, and it helps inflate your fucking ego. End of story. The moment that feeling is taken away from you, meaning that those very people you're beating up now, you're calling them shit players, you're calling them bad players, you're calling them this, that, and the third, in a few weeks or in a few months when they actually, come out to be killers, then all of a sudden your whole shit's going to change. When you start seeing some of the combinations that I see, where I'm running into people playing P Groove or S Groove with these really wacky teams, and I say wacky with no disrespect, I mean just characters you don't see very often, and they start actually pulling shit off, then watch how quickly fucking CVS2 goes onto the back burner. Wait, it'll happen. It'll happen. Because right now he likes to play his little top tier teams and shit. Once people neutralize his variation or rendition of it, then watch how quickly we start to stutter. Watch how quickly we're not eager to play Street Fighter or Capcom vs. SNK no more. You'll see. It'll come. It always happens. It always happens. I'm not necessarily predicting the future. It's just it's already in the works. It's already in the works. It just hasn't been executed yet.
only play one, okay? Now, I played Street Fighter 6 for a year and a half, pretty hardcore.
And you were garbage at it. You were garbage at it. You got to 1500 and you stopped because that's where the real competition began, and you couldn't keep up. Because let's be honest, everything was training wheels from there to 1500. Everything up until Master is literally to condition you and help you understand how the game works, how your character works, and how you bring everything together. Once you get into Master Rank is where the real competition was, and that's when he dropped out. And no one should be surprised by that. That's why I don't give credit, not to myself, not to anybody else who has multiple characters that are in Master. It's great, sure, but that doesn't mean anything because the real fight is when you get to Master. I'm not saying there aren't killers in the lower ranks, because that's clearly not true. I've met some people who literally just hovered just below Master Rank. They will purposely, it's not hard to figure out, but it's they've figured out how to keep themselves at a certain spot with a certain amount of wins and a certain amount of wins and losses, just the aura farm basically, and whatnot. That's a real thing. It's one of the fundamental, but then again, the system can't force you to move up. Not like that. So dudes just sit around there and aura farm. DSPs run into a bunch of them, got clean the fuck up. But the reality is, once you get into Master, that's where the real fight is. He don't want that fight. He don't want that fight. That's why as soon as a character gets to Master, he goes somewhere else and starts all over and tries to do his own little version of aura farming, because that's all this is. It's aura farming, and it's not even very good. You know what I'm saying? It's not very good. And he hasn't actually gotten better. He uses the same tactics and whatnot, and he's been able to get a lot out of it, which is no different than what Howard and John said, where he's like, for someone who does the bare minimum, or even less than that, I'm putting my own words in there, but for someone who uses the bare minimum or does the bare minimum, he's been able to get a lot out of it. It's true. It's no different with anything else that he does. He does the bare fucking minimum because he doesn't have the execution. He doesn't understand how certain moves flow into each other. He don't know how to change shit properly. It is what it is. He sits there and he tries to emulate, or he usually emulates what he thinks he can execute. But can he tell you why he does it? And can he also tell you when it drops, or if it doesn't hit the way it's supposed to, or if it doesn't give him the placement that he wants? Can he explain that to you? No, because he emulated it. He doesn't actually know how to do it. He didn't actually learn it. He just copied it. He bootleg copied the shit. He gave his gouty fucking Shurigan to that bullshit, and he was able to do it enough to where he can actually do it. But he don't understand why he do it, so it makes it worthless. And that's what it comes down to with CVS2. He'll keep getting away with the bullshit that he keep getting away with until he gets stomped the fuck out. The moment he stomped the fuck out, he'll quit.
Like 7 or 8 or more characters to master. And then what happened is, basically I kind of lost interest in the game because it got too samey for me. Every match felt like, oh, I'm fighting.
How does that make sense? Wait a second. So you devoted your time to getting 7 or 8 characters to master, and then you said it was samey? It wasn't samey after 2 of them? It wasn't samey after 4? It wasn't samey after 6? Yeah, tell me you're a piece of shit that couldn't compete without telling me you were a piece of shit and couldn't compete.
Cammy, well, I know exactly how this Cammy's gonna fight. I'm fighting an Ed. I know exactly what that Ed's gonna do.
And yet you still lost to them. The PTSD from the Cammy shit is amazing. I should send a bottle of champagne to fucking piece of peace and fucking raw Phil for that shit. Holy crap, bro. The way they got this guy clamped down with that bullshit, insane. Big ups to them.
The game is too, how can I say, pattern play focused. The meta is so similar that everyone plays the game the same.
And so if that's the case, if every Cammy that you run into plays the same and you can't beat any of them, what does that say about you? What does that say about you? First off, not every Cammy player plays the same. So that's the first thing. There's similarities in their approaches, certainly, but they damn sure play it differently. Secondly, if they all do play the same, why can't you beat them? If every Ryu plays the same and you've got this much experience getting beat up by them, why have you still not figured out a way around it? Why have you not seen the patterns, right? Why have you not figured out the flowchart? What's the problem? That sounds like that's a you problem. That's what that sounds like. That sounds like there's a lack of comprehension and whatnot. It seems like you can't identify patterns, which is weird because he is a pattern player. It seems like you don't understand flowcharts, which is weird because he's a flowchart player himself. But you can't recognize those same things in other people. And if they break for even a second of what you think you're used to, if they switch up for even a minute, you fall apart. That's low-tier God's fault. Or not fault, but that's one of low-tier God's issues. He's expecting people to play a certain type of way with a certain character. If it breaks for even a second, he crumbles. Because he already has so much of his self-esteem based on the frame data, based on the tactics that he's expecting to see. The moment someone breaks from the norm, he's screwed. That's a goddamn shame. It's hilarious though, but that's a goddamn shame.
Play the game online, I don't have fun because I get no variety of comp. It's just really boring. So after a while, if you noticed, I kind of played less. But
what's the point of him getting a variety of content or a variety of competition? Really, what he's saying is just more scrubs he can beat up on. But what's the point of you getting a variety of fucking of a variety of players to play when you can't even beat the shit that's on your plate? So wait a second, let's reword this. Let's go ahead and talk about it from the sandwich shop shit, but we're not going to go into that. How are you going to ask for more food when you can't even finish your plate? You can't even finish what's in front of you, and you're going to demand more and more variety? Handle what's already in front of you first before you start demanding anything. Because how is it that Justin can do it? How is it that Max can do it? How is it that Snake Eyes can do it? How is it that Chris G can do it? How is it that Nephew can do it? How is it that Alex Valle, John Choi, Chris Chin, all them guys from back in your day, how come they can all do it and you can't? Why is that a thing? How is it that PR Barraw can do it? Ricky Ortiz can do it. Fucking Arturo Sanchez, he can still do it. But why can't DSP? I'm just asking. I just want some clarification.
Why Shiranui came out, I played her, and I liked the character. And I played her, what, like 2 sessions, 3 sessions? I got her to master, and then I was like, okay, I'm giving Street Fighter 6 a break. And then I never went back.
That's not true. What happened was people figured out mine. He got frustrated, and he got out because he didn't want to repeat the same bullshit that he did when M. Bison came out. So the reality is, once his pay-to-win characters started to get figured out, then it's not fun no more because he can't take advantage of people, which says a lot, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. I understand everybody wants to win, right? Well, sometimes, actually most of the time, if you want to be a better winner, you got to learn something. You got to be able to learn. You have to be able to adapt. And DSP don't know how to do any of that shit.
You know, Elena's been out for like a month. I don't care. I just don't care.
Fucking that he don't care. Fucking Elena's scary. That's what that shit is. Elena's kind of scary. That's what that is. That's you know what I'm saying? I don't envy myself when I get beat up by a fucking Elena and shit. That shit's kind of scary.
I'm liking playing the classics. I'm enjoying playing CVS2 way more than I've been playing Street Fighter 6. Like, I would argue.
You would argue what? That, oh, it's easier for me to take advantage of all the people who play the older games who weren't around at that time. It's easier to take advantage of the weak, the unknowing, and or just generally bad players than actually try to compete in the new shit and actually try to learn something. And this is the reason why that whole thing with him and LTG isn't going to ever work out. And I'm starting to think now that Kino Casino is willing to be the bank and pay LTG to just show up to the event, I don't think DSP actually wants to play him. To be honest, let me keep that to myself. I'm good for really telling on myself, but I'm going to keep that to myself for now. All right, I'll say this. I don't think DSP ever wanted to play LTG. I don't think because DSP can't beat him. The reality is he can't beat him. The best DSP could do is ask for a combination of modern fighting games and then the old shit. LTG is not going to fucking invest in the old shit because he don't play him and he don't care. DSP has access to all the modern shit and he can't beat LTG in any of that shit. From Third Strike to Street Fighter 6, DSP can't beat him. Period. I don't think DSP actually wants to play him. I think he wanted to shit talk him and try to get him to the table and then have them collab on something. It was never about fighting games. I honestly think that's never what it was. And something that's really telling me that's what the situation is DSP keeps talking about that fucking Evo weekend shit. Oh, I want to do it on Evo weekend. We can outbeat them, this, that, and the third. But then he's saying, oh, well, if I could get him to agree to something, well, I would have to sit down and grind the games out and get a lot of time practicing before I'm ready to play them. So how are you going to go ahead and offer someone to play the week of Evo weekend when you yourself is admitting that you need to grind the game out just to get on par to be able to compete against them later? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And let me stop there. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think he was ever I honestly don't think he's actually trying to play LTG. I think he's just trying to get a collab with him. And he's trying to use the fighting game shit as bait. Or as bait, basically. Because he thinks most people associate him and LTG with, that's the only connection they have, is the fighting game shit. And I think he really wants this, if he can lock LTG in on that, he thinks he can get him to the table to actually talk to him. And I think that's what DSP wants. Because I think DSP realizes, as I already know, as most people already know, that LTG will clean his ass up. LTG will beat him if it's a race to 10, I got my money on LTG all day on that shit. And I think LTG can beat him. And I think DSP knows LTG can beat him. So it's not about that at all. They're just using that. He's trying to use that for false bravado. And I'll leave it at that. I can flesh that out further, but I won't do it here. Let me think that out a little bit further. But that's what I'm really thinking it's coming down to. And now that Kino Casino now DSP's demanding, oh, well, that $5,000 should go to the winner. This, that, and the third. No, that's what LTG's price is. So if $5,000 is what it's going to take him to show up to the event, then so be it. And then DSP tries to play these other narratives about, oh, he's just going to come in, take the money, let me beat him and leave. That doesn't mean anything. I want to beat him at his best, this, that, and the third. First off, it would be funny as hell for LTG to come in, take Kino Casino's money, shit talk you while you beat him up in a bunch of games he don't care about, and then leave. There is far more entertainment value in that than LTG actually competing with you seriously. And I think that's what DSP's scared of. I mean, I've got some other stuff too, but I think that's one of the main things he's scared of. So in some ways, I think Kino Casino actually cucked DSP. Inadvertently, but I think they actually cucked him. And I think DSP is super fucking mad about it, because now he's never going to get it. Because now LTG has what he wants. He has someone to pay that is willing to pay his price, to pay his fee. But now DSP is fucked all the way around. Because no matter what, LTG can always say, I don't give a shit, I got my money. And that kills DSP's entire narrative. But if DSP did lose playing LTG at his best, he could say, all right, man, you're the better man, this, that, and the third. Hey, let's do a podcast together. Let's do whatever the fucking little gay-ass fucking bonding situation that comes out of that. I honestly think that's what DSP's entire narrative is. But let me think that out further, and then I'll flush it out later on. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk within a TED Talk.
I stopped having fun playing Street Fighter 6 after year 1 ended. Like when year 2 started and really people started using M. Bison and stuff, that's kind of when...
Coming from someone who was using M. Bison himself. Make that... And that goes back to my... That actually reinforces my pay-to-win theory. DSP was mad that there was more and more people that were buying M. Bison, which made the pool smaller and smaller and smaller of people he could take advantage of. He was literally depending on the pay-to-win business strategy, I guess, to carry him, and it didn't work. Sorry, Phil, not everybody's a broke boy like you who has to beg.
I kind of lost interest in it, and I'm just not enjoying it. Now, I did play it from time to time, but it never was as interesting to me as it was that first year, and I don't know if that'll change. Maybe eventually that will change, or it won't. I don't know. But here's the deal. I'm having tons of fun with CVS2. I'm getting better. Now, people are saying, well, Season 3 of Street Fighter 6 is right around the corner. The first week of August, Sagat is coming out. Don't you want to check him out? I mean, here's the thing.
No, he don't. First off, this particular version of Sagat, actually, I feel like harkens back to his Super Turbo days. So you would think that's right up DSP's alley. Here's the problem. Sagat fundamentally has always been a pretty good character in all of his different iterations. DSP gonna get cleaned up. He gonna get cleaned up fast. He gonna get cleaned up fast, and he don't want no parts of that. 2, DSP is a coward, so it behooves DSP to wait for the character to be flushed out completely, to watch those videos on his spare time, try to see what he can emulate, see what he can try to incorporate into his already broken, dilapidated fucking fighting style, and then see what he can scrape off of that. So he can try to tell people like me, oh, I'm not scared of anything. I can still compete no matter what. I assume that's what his situation is. He's just waiting to see how other people flush Sagat out and how he can try to build off of that. Because DSP doesn't discover shit on his own. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the reasons why he stayed with Street Fighter 6 as long as he did. He was hoping he could discover the new tactic, the new meta, the new combo, and then he could run to Twitter and wherever else and try to get credit for it. But he's not creative. You know what I'm saying? He's not creative. He doesn't have an imagination. And more importantly, he doesn't understand Street Fighter 6's mechanics to be able to do any of that. So we gave up on that part.
On curiosity's sake, meaning, do I want to see how they've made Sagat in the modern Street Fighter? Yes, I do, but it's only for curiosity to compare to how he played previously and how he plays now. I'm not really interested in getting back into Street Fighter 6, relearning all the matchups and the meta since it adjusted when they... Not
that he learned any of the matchups anyway. He's a reactionary player. He doesn't he don't care about frame data. He doesn't care about matchups and shit. That's far above his intellectual pay grade.
They dropped Elena and they changed the whole game. I don't want to sit there and grind with Sagat to get to master and beyond. I don't really care. I don't really.
He sounds like a quitter. It sounds like he's defeated. It sounds like I can't compete where I don't compare. That's what it sounds like. So go back to this old game that other people are starting to play, right? The old, the OGs as well as new people who have been encouraged by, the people that they follow. Scrape wins off of them to try to make myself feel better and do it that way. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a loser who's acknowledging, yeah, I'm a loser and I can't compete there. So I want to go over here into the kiddie pool. I want to sit at the kiddie table and I want to go ahead and I guess he wants to do whatever there and whatnot and to try to get his confidence up.
Like the game that much, anymore. I'll be honest.
And it's excuses and reasons like this is the reason why Justin and Max and all those other guys will never respect them. Because in a competitive game, your whole point is to go out there and look for competition. DSP don't want competition. DSP wants the path of least resistance. He's never been a competitor. He's never been a contender. Hence the reason why he was never a champion.
I every once in a while I try to watch some of it. Like, there's a tournament this weekend, Blink Respawn. I think I watched one single match and I was so fucking, it was Rashid against Kimberly. And I'm trying to watch it and I can barely pay attention. I'm bored to tears. The Rashid is literally doing poke, push her to the corner, do these mix-up pattern over and over and over. The Kimberly is just looking for a poke, getting one poke in, pushing him to the corner, and then doing her mix-up in the corner. That's the whole game. The entire game is get a poke, go.
One can make the same argument for CVS2. One can make the same argument for Street Fighter 5. One can make the argument for Street Fighter 4. You know what I'm saying? Alpha, Third Strike. Like, you could, that's a tactic that is universally carried in most fighting games, especially Capcom games. Just saying.
To the corner and then do a mix-up. That's the whole effing game now. That's not fun. That's not even a fighting game, quite frankly. It's pretty boring. So I don't know if I want to play Street Fighter 6 again. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if I want.
And I don't know if he has anybody around him that's even willing to pay for that anymore, now that I think about it. And I guess that's a more practical thought that I probably should have already come to. I don't know if there's anybody who's willing to actually pay for that, to be honest. Now that I think about it, I don't know. I don't know if there's really any demand for it.
Want to. I'm bored. With CVS2, I've been getting better. We're seeing a variety of characters. Now that we're actually starting to play better fighters, because I ranked up enough, we're seeing P-Groove with interesting execution. We're seeing people learn different strategies and try different things. I've played people from back in the day, like Spider Dan. Dude, I haven't seen or played that guy since the early 2000s. I just played him like a week or two ago, and we had a great set, right? So that's what I mean. Like, it's actually meaningful when I'm playing CVS2.
Also, and I need to bring this up just because of who he referenced, as well as the Justin reference earlier on. I honestly think that he's using CVS2 to try to harvest up who's still online and who's still playing, which is funny because allegedly, according to DSP, all the OGs and all the guys who played around his day, they don't play games anymore. They've moved on with themselves. That's what he tells you, but he's running into these guys often enough that it's a thing. He ran into VDO. He ran into Smoothcat. I thought these guys ain't moved on, though. They don't play games no more. Oh, well, guess what? They're actually both probably on Fightcade, and they are playing on this collection, too. Imagine that. Semantics. The point being is that I think he is harvesting, or trying to harvest some of these older players who've been around, these OG guys who've been around for a long-ass time, and tries to build connections with them, and tries to use, and is going to try to use them to facilitate to get himself some type of wider notoriety in the FGC, and that's what he's going to do to try to get to Justin, to try to get to Max, to try to get himself to the OG status he feels he should have. He's going to have to probably go about it this way. It's not going to work because eventually he's going to rub the wrong person wrong, obviously. But I think that's another tactic that he's choosing to go with, which is kind of fascinating in the fact that it's kind of fascinating, but it also proves my point that he's never given up on wanting to be part of the FGC and, more importantly, be recognized by them. And so we're willing to come up with all these different schemes and scenarios to do so. And DSP has been doing this for a number of years. And CVS2 or any of these games from these older collections may be his only way of doing it. So it makes you wonder, what do these guys' DMs look like after DSP has run into them? Which is weird because when he had that situation with side scrollers, and they brought up, it was either, I think it was Killer Kai or Shady K. Oh, it was one of those two. When DSP said, I ridiculed this person, I said all this bullshit, this, that, and the third, Craig immediately goes on Twitter. Boom. Craig finds him. He's like, hey, Phil, I found the guy. He's right here. Matter of fact, I can go ahead and send you his Twitter real fast and whatnot. And DSP's like, oh, no. But I thought you wanted to apologize to him, Phil. I thought you felt bad for what you did to him back in the day. Now here's a lifeline to do it. You're not willing to move on that? All right, whatever. But you see what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. He's a hypocrite. He wants to tell you or act like he's doing the right thing, and he has no intention of doing any of that. And most of these guys in the FGC are smart enough to know, because DSP hasn't changed that much over 20 years. Yeah, if he's reaching out to you, he wants something. And that's what it was. And I think you're seeing enough people from enough different backgrounds and in enough different, they're in different places in life right now, that they're only willing to entertain him. They're not really willing to deal with him. And that's what it really comes down to. And I think he's becoming more and more frustrated. But if he can just find the right person, if he can run into the right person who'll be like, who, you know, he plays online, he reaches out to through DM or whatever the fuck, and he's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and name drop you to this guy and see what's what. That's all he's looking for. One could say it's an opportunity, but it's completely unearned.
I don't feel like there's a single meaning to playing Street Fighter 6. It's just the same pattern play shit over and over, and I'm bored. Okay? So, honestly, I don't know if I'm playing Street Fighter 6 again. I don't know if I'm playing Sagat. I know people are going to ask for it, but I'm not feeling it.
Then don't. Nothing's lost. Nothing was lost by you stop playing, to be honest with you. So, no one cares. That's the reality. No one really cares. It turns into another compilation on, well, it's kind of sucks because then I won't be able to see like a compilation of him getting beat up on like SnortBucks or on Memology's channel or whatever, or on a Mighty D video. But, you know, outside of that, there'll always be something to laugh at. So, you know, like I said, it is what it is.
Having so much fun learning and playing CVS2, and there's comp for it, and we're having good times every time I stream it. I don't know why I would want to interrupt that, because Street Fighter 6 had an update and has a new character. I don't really think Street Fighter 6 is a very good game at this point, to be honest. I'm very bored with it. So that's my take. Now, you could disagree. Abdullah had asked, am I going to play Sagat? That's how we started on this topic 10 minutes ago. I feel bad because I know there's people who want to see me play it, but wouldn't you rather see me play a game I actually like and want to get better at and want to learn and enjoy, and I'm getting good variety of comp and everything?
Not necessarily, because you can do that on your own time. That's kind of the takeaway from that. You say that you're this fighting game aficionado or whatever. If you're having a good time going down memory lane, which i.e. he didn't go down memory lane because he didn't play this game back when it was prominent and during the competitive scene because he was a coward. So that doesn't mean shit about shit. If you're supposedly this fighting game aficionado or whatever, you should be playing what is the new and current shit. If not, then explain why you chased this game over 3 different platforms. Explain that. Because that's really what it comes down to. If he's not willing to try out any of the new characters for any of the new seasons or whatever, then why the fuck did you buy the game 3 different times? Why did you go through 2 arcade sticks? Why did you even buy a PC to play it on if you really don't care about it? Something to think about.
Rather than just play Street Fighter 6 because it's the modern Street Fighter. I don't think I'm going to get much or any enjoyment out of playing Street Fighter 6. Even if I do well, it's just kind of like, eh. And to be honest, you guys were bored of it too. That's what.
Oh, so now you're going to tell us what we were. So I want you to peep this shit. So his narrative isn't working, obviously. So now he has to, and he does this all the time. So I'm not telling you guys anything new. His narrative isn't working, so now he needs to turn it on y'all, so he can get you guys to stop badgering him about it, basically, and basically take what he gives you and what he's feeling right now. That's fantastic. I love that.
And to be honest, you guys were bored of it too. That's one of the major reasons why I stopped playing it as much, because when I streamed it, you guys were tired of it and were telling me, "Wow, this is boring. We're not so interested." So I played it less and less. Now, oh look, now there's snow on the rooftop covering my glass. Haha, that's cool. I wonder...
Nice distraction, Phil.
I do wonder if it will snow. Like, will there be snow? And then if you fish in the snow, is it like improved fishing? I don't know. You know what I should do? I should make some torches.
It's improved fishing. So we're out there to catch fish popsicles, Phil? Is that what you're talking? What the hell does that even mean? Oh, man. All them times your father tried to take you fishing, you didn't learn a damn thing, did you? Well, maybe that's why you never went fishing with him. That's pretty sad. Suffer, Dave. Suffer. Yeah, that's kind of messed up, actually. I'm not going to take it back. Actually, I will take it back, now that I think about it. Because it's kind of sad. Imagine you trying to teach your son how to ride a bike. Imagine you trying to teach your son how to swim. Imagine trying to encourage your son to come with you fishing. He didn't want to do none of those things. Instead, what he does is chase clout online and obsesses about black men and accuses morbidly obese Canadians of wanting to rape him. That shit is wild. Now that I say it like that, I'm sorry, Dave. That's unfortunate. Your best just wasn't good enough. Your best just wasn't good enough. Suffer, Dave. Suffer.
I have none. See that? I have 0 torches. The bummer is I only have 22 charcoal. Oh, that is a bummer. I'm gonna have to start making more charcoal again, which means I have to burn wood. I have to chop wood and then burn wood. This stinks. But I need to make torches so that I can make like a circle of torches around me if I'm gonna ice fish. Let's see here. What if I type in torch? Aha. A stick and charcoal. Yep, so I need sticks.
Damn. Actually, I'm about to be a dickhead about this. And then imagine this. And then you get no grandchildren out of it, right? So you don't even get a chance to, like, redeem yourself. If you're Dave. Like, you don't get a chance to even redeem yourself with grandchildren. You just like, live with the idea that you raised a perpetual failure. I mean, yeah, he's your little pig in the blanket, so you have to love him by proxy, but damn, you really don't even get that chance to, like, make up for that. That's, damn, now that I think about it, that sucks. That's grim. That's a very, very grim existence, I gotta tell you. Well, so, what are you gonna do? Something about.
I guess I could make 17 torches if I wanted to. King Ferbs, thanks for taking care of this mentally deranged person. We have a mentally deranged person. Today they made like 50 or 60 sock accounts. What's hilarious is once or twice when they came in and tried to spam, every account said the same thing and then YouTube just auto-blocked it anyway. The person's so effing dumb they didn't realize that's what would happen.
Okay.
I was off by 1. Well, that's fine. All right. I want to take a quick look and see how this ice fishing is going to work. Wait a minute. Look outside. It's snowing right now. Holy crap, let's go. It's literally snowing right now. This is
this type of enthusiasm would make sense if we were in, like, November or December. You know what I'm saying? It would kind of make sense then. But I assume that we might get a Minecraft, holiday or Christmas pack or whatever, maybe, since he can somewhat mod. Well, that's not true. Someone else will help him walk him through the modding process. But since he can kind of mod Minecraft kind of now, we might get like a Christmas playthrough or a holiday playthrough of some type now, if I had to guess. This would make more sense then. Not in fucking July. But, maybe the whole snowing in July thing is, maybe he's reminiscing about that, I suppose.
amazing. Look how cool this looks, everybody. We have never seen this before. Now, this is dope.
Now, just because dope is white, you know what? Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. I wasn't really expecting you to say dope, but and so that's the reason why I felt the need to come out there and try not to. You don't need to compare everything you see as white as dope. But all right, man, do you, Phil? Do you? Holy shit.
It's literally snowing right now. This is amazing. Look how cool this looks, everybody.
Oh boy.
We have never seen this before. Now, this is dope. So we can ice fish in the snow. Let's go out to the end of the ice. Let's build a circle of torches around me.
Holy shit. Oh man, there's no way he's this stupid. Oh, there's no way he's this stupid. Go ahead, Phil, do you. Don't listen to mentally ill detractors and shit. Go ahead and do your ice fishing with open flames out there and see what happens. Oh, that valedictorian ship was definitely worth the money, I gotta tell you.
So that I'll be protected from spawns. I don't know if the mod's added seasons or not. I don't know how it works. Here we are.
The thing is, here's the crazy part. The shit was already melting on him and he didn't even bother stopping. I'll bring it all back, but that's hilarious. How do you just ignore that?
I gotta go get my rod. I forgot.
Oh, you
wait a
sick
minute.
little man.
I think what happens is it makes the ice melt. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I didn't know that. Look. Oh, no. So this is disaster. This will not work. This doesn't work.
Oh, shit. That's so
melts the ice.
good.
Shoot.
Oh, man.
So that's not a good idea.
You think?
Sadly.
Oh, let me bring that back. That's good, Phil. That's real good. That's really, really good. Oh shit, let me bring it back to the beginning, because it started melting literally as he like laid down the first and second torch and just completely ignored it. Just completely ignored it, like it never happened. Like those blocks were never there in the first place, I guess. That's amazing, Phil. Amazing.
How it works. Here we are.
And then you installed a mod and you don't even know like the features of the mod? That seems kind of weird. That's kind of the reason why people install mods and then look at the description to see what it does. Whatever. It is what it is. Someone recommended to him, so he just went off that, and they probably put a bunch of money behind that recommendation. Fair enough.
I gotta go get my rod. I forgot. Oh, wait a minute. I think what happens is it makes the ice melt. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I didn't know that. Look. Oh, no. So this is disaster. This will not work. This doesn't work. It melts the ice. Shoot. So that didn't work.
Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is coming from the same idiot from the Brain Trust who thought it was a good idea to buy a home in Seattle, Washington without an AC because it rains all the time. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
That's not a good idea. Sadly.
Ooh.
Let's go get my rod, and we'll have to fish just off the end of the ice and hope for no enemies. If enemies show up, I'll have to run over here to the dock. Okay. I didn't mean to put that torch there, but okay. I guess we'll try to fish this way, right? Off the edge. Let's see what happens. So
oh shit. Oh man. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's beautiful. Thank you, Raw Phil. Thank you, Diggs, for that. That's fantastic. That's so good. Woo, shit. Oh my god, that's something special, baby. That is something special. Here, we can end off on a nightcap on that one. That's crazy, bro. Like the madness, I tell you. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts, and then we'll close up shop. Oh boy, let me get it together. Holy shit. Okay, so DSP almost beating Justin. Never happened. DSP thinking Street Fighter 6 is boring. He can't compete. So that's really where our scenario is with that. CVS2 is treating DSP better. He's harvesting scrubs and noobs, basically. So, you know, we'll see how long that lasts. But it won't be long until those scrubs or noobs smarten up. And then once he starts getting his ass handed to him, then he'll run. So we'll just wait for that to happen. And DSP discovering that fire and ice don't mix. I suppose that's just one of those little gems in Darksydephil content that usually gets overlooked. But when you rediscover it or discover it, it was worthwhile either which way. It was worthwhile either which way. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Snort Report. This has been DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network and Productions. For Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, Tim Snortons, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, and all of our affiliates and subsidiaries, I've been your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. It's so stupid that it's funny and whatnot, because you would think you would, you know what, don't even think. That's the whole point of the whole point and laugh situation. Don't give it a lot of thought and just let it be what it is. Whew. Take care of yourselves, people. Later. Oh, that's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Now let's begin the story.
Yeah, we don't get angry, we don't get even. We don't talk about beef by the way that I mentioned I just turned vegan. I need the pagans breathing so they can see my new Top Boy season. I need the pagans alive so they can all see that it's still my time. I don't know why they act tough online. I see them outside and they ain't say nada. Soon as you say on site, we looking for you like some vintage Prada, looking for you like some archive pieces.